A new face joins Oregon State to try and get the Beavers offense going. A former Beaver joins a very elite group in professional sports. And Nigel Burton breaks down the highlight of last week's game against Washington State as we look forward to what's to come against Colorado. Hashtag Beavers football starts right now. It feels like football in Portland tonight. The clouds out, getting ready for the home game at Reser Stadium tomorrow night against Colorado. And as always, we come to you live from Blitz Lat in Southeast Portland. Always where the action is for sports and for playing a little ping pong too. Welcome to Hashtag Beavers Football. I'm Katie Brown along with Slade Norris and Matt Severson joining us tonight with Nigel Burton away on assignment. Great to have you here.
Good to be back.
We have a lot to talk about. Let's just cut right to the chase. Oregon State, Colorado, for both teams, they're both coming in looking at it. This is their best chance to get a Pac-12 win. Coming out of the Washington State game, slow going for the Beavs. What do we take away from it?
Not much. I mean, you can draw on a posit that we came out and played better in the second half, but I mean, to be completely honest, that whole second half, we didn't change the scheme that much.
They start tackling?
But that's really all. It was effort. It was tackling. That's all they did. They didn't go out and make a bunch of changes at halftime. They just came out and played football. And if you can do it in the second half, you can do it in the first half.
You agree with me. It's almost time to just hit the reset button. Just forget everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks. Focus on the fundamentals going into this game and just really focus on what they need to do to be successful and just forget what's happened the next 2 weeks. Let's just start a new season, go out and get a win here and see if we can build on it.
But really, how does that happen? I mean, when you get down to, like you said, I mean, it's like rebounds in basketball, they say, are all about effort. Tackles in football, how does that happen that a team would come out and just basically look the way they did in that first half? I mean, it was an embarrassment, that first half.
That was the worst half I've seen for a while. I mean, it reminded me of playing against UW last year. Just that game did not show who that team was. And really, when a team comes out like that, it's a lack of leadership. It's not having the guys ready to play, because I know the coaching staff. Those guys are fiery guys. They do not like to lose. They knew, accepting this job, it's a young team. It's going to be tough. We're changing the whole scheme on them. So they knew it's going to be an interesting season. But I guarantee all those coaches aren't sleeping at night. And I hope the players are feeling the same way, because we need some guys to come in hungry for a win against a Colorado team that hasn't won in the Pac-12 yet.
No. And I think that's just exactly the point. That was an aberration. You just got to throw that one out the window and move on to the next one. And like Slade said, we'll just chalk that up to a young team. There's room for growth. I think this week there's been some changes made on who's starting, who's playing, and who's not. A couple guys lost their job or need to go sit on the bench for a couple weeks and think about, what's important or how they need to play better. Give some guys who are ready to go, who are itching for that chance to show what they can do, get them into the game and see if they can perform. But it's just a good opportunity to hit the reset button and let's go from here.
We'd had some positives, though. I mean, Victor came out, played a great game. We'll talk about that later. We had a career-long 50-yard field goal that was hit. That's always a positive thing. I mean, beyond that, though, it's slim pickings for what to pull out and smile about.
Couple interceptions. We had a couple interceptions in that game too. Made some plays.
When Washington State basically said, we'll take mercy on you.
That's true. That's true.
All right, well, Kalani Sitake, we've been hearing from him week after week, just trying to find any way to fire his guys up, and the Beavers defensive coordinator had this to say after the performance up in the Palouse.
Seems like a broken record. Just kept saying the same thing over and over. And in the first half, we knew what the issues were. And like I said, they were making good plays on the fade routes. We were having, the bad technique, but guys were there. I think Larry did a great job until he got hurt. I think on the play he got hurt, he was in good position. And he actually had the best technique out of all the corners. Just gave up that one play. So you're going to give up plays, then you fix that with technique and you work on that. I was more discouraged with the missed tackles, the way we're tackling. And just so everyone knows, we don't teach our guys to just dive at the ground and then not see what you hit. We teach our guys to be aggressive, close the grass, keep your eyes on the ball, keep your eyes on the ball carrier, and strike. You have to see what you hit. And I saw guys diving at the ground and diving at where they thought the running back or the receiver, whoever had the ball, is going to be, and that you can never tackle that way. And then the second half, at halftime, we asked them nicely to just do what they can to do it the right way. And, until we'll be a great defense until they decide they want to start doing it the way we asked them to. And they finally were obedient to it and did it right. And it wasn't perfect in the second half, but We had better results. We created a couple turnovers, and we tackled a lot better. And so I would just like to be in the position where we're not spotting someone 45 points before we start learning to play the right way. And like I said, it's never going to be perfect, but fundamentals has got to be sound. And we work on that over and over and over again. And I don't know if it's just guys get freaked out when they get on the field, but it was encouraging seeing the second half, but I'd like to see that from the beginning.
All right, Beaver Nation, get your Twitter application open and send in your tweets because we want you to join the conversation here. I know you have something to say. I hear from you all week long, see you on the streets, and people going, what is going on? So send in your questions for Slade and Matt. You know, when we came into the season, we knew the offense was going to be a work in progress, very young. You had quarterbacks that had never played before, but we thought the defense would be, help carry them through, and it's been a really tough spot in third down, too, looking at home and away performance. Slade, what's going on?
It's been amazing to see the disparity between the numbers with the third down conversions. At home, we play so well. We're down there, I think it's 21% of the time opposing offenses are converting on third down at home. That's a great number. That's first in the Pac-12. Away, we're over 50%. That can't happen. So it's somewhat to be, there's numbers right there for you. It's somewhat to be expected with a young team. A defensive mentality, it really feeds off the crowd. And when you got a home crowd cheering behind you, I remember run out of the field myself and hearing the chainsaw come out. You just feed off that. And so you should play better at home, but those kind of numbers are huge. And so I really hope that we can go through this week and use that to our advantage. Because in games we've won, we've only had one third down converted on us throughout the entire season. Just one. That's incredible.
And I think that I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. And I think the number's a little skewed because two of those home games, keep in mind, are against San Jose State, I believe, and Weber State, which is still college competition. It's still a great performance, but it's not. You're not in conference playing the talent of the Pac-12. So I think this is a really good opportunity for us against Colorado to come out and do that to a Pac-12 team. It would be a big step for those young guys moving forward. And I like what the DC said right there too is, you're going to give up plays from time to time. There's some great athletes on the field. You're going to lose a fade route, or a guy's going to bust a run and he's going to do a 20, 15-yard play. But the key for them being a young defense is that, okay, they got a play on us. Let's come back and shut them down this next series. Let's come back and make a play of our own. And we're just not responding once a team gets a big play on us, I think.
All right, well, we're just getting started here on #Beavers football. Still to come, we'll take a look at the Colorado Buffaloes, a team that has a few key injuries as they come into Corvallis. And coming up next, the Beavers get a new face, and he used to be a Duck. #Beavers football. We'll be right back. What a week for one former Beaver. Michael Conforto of the New York Mets is headed to the World Series after the Mets swept the Cubs this week. And get this, he becomes just the third player ever to play in the Little League World Series, College World Series, and baseball's biggest stage, the World Series. He joins just Jason Varitek and Eddie Vosberg as the only players to play on those three stages. We'll be looking forward to him playing in the week to come. All right, it is time to turn our attention to a new face joining the Beavers this week. Of course, Gary Croton, formerly offensive coordinator for the Ducks under Mike Bellotti, and now coming to try and help the Beavers. And Eric writes in or tweet, says, with the addition of Croton, what are his thoughts on Beavers football and how long will he stay? Well, Eric, great question, because Gary Croton is our Toyota interview of the week. Toyota, let's go places. This week, Gary Croton talks about his first week on the job in Corvallis.
Just came here at the end of last week, and I think they're making progress. I think they're working hard. I think they're doing good things. They got some young players, and I just, since I've been here, the week I've been here, I've seen improvement, and it's been exciting.
What do you want to get out of this at this point in your career?
Well, at this time, I still feel like I have a lot of years left in me. And if the opportunity's right at some point, I'd like to get back at this level. But I'm not really worried about that as much right now. I've got my niece is married to Kevin, and I want him to be successful. I know Coach Anderson. I've known him for years, and I think he's an outstanding coach. I want to learn as much as I could from him and how he runs programs. and then Coach Baldwin I have a great respect for. So for me, I'm just trying to learn and grow and contribute if they need me. I plan on being here through the rest of the season if they want me to, and if it works out with family and all that. And I'm hoping to make it work that way, where I can be there so that if they need me, I'm here and I can learn right to the end. And so I'm planning on that. But if something takes me away from a family standpoint or some other reason, which I don't foresee right now, then I would have to tend to whatever matters are needed. But
what stuck out to you so far, just in your first week here, just about how Anderson runs this program and how things are going over
just
here?
Tons of energy, there's tons of optimism in the players and the coaches. I think the work ethic is excellent. I feel like they're just going to move. They're just going to get better and better. And how he treats players, Coach Anderson's very disciplined. He's very organized. He's got vision. You can feel it. He's aggressive. I mean, I just love being around him and what he's doing. And it's been special, and I'm learning a lot.
Well, he certainly has the resume. Head coach at BYU from 2001 to 2004. Went on to become the offensive coordinators at Oregon, LSU. Is also with the Chicago Bears. And he mentioned there, my niece is married to Kevin. That would be Kevin McGiven, the quarterbacks coach for the Beavers, who he was his coach at Louisiana Tech. So they have a relationship personally and then also to the football world, too. So a little bit of surprise, something we weren't expecting. Obviously, the Beavers looking for any hints, help they can get on offense right now. And
Kevin has said, everything that I learned coming into this sport, Coach had taught him about a quarterback position, about football. Coach brought him into the world of the football world. And so having Coach Crowton come in and take a look at Seth, take a look at how he's developing, because he really brought the spread offense into Oregon before Chip Kelly came in. I mean, he took LSU to a national championship. He's coached in the NFL, the CFL. He's been all over. So to have a guy with this kind of experience come in and look at your program is a great opportunity for these players right now.
Yeah, to piggyback off on that, heck of a resume. He's done some amazing things. I think LSU, when they won the national championship, had a historic year performance on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, and you see the numbers there. There is work to be done when you take a look at the points. Well, the Beavers, besides the first downs, are 94th in the nation, but everywhere else they're 100 and above when it comes to all the key stats on offense. And we've seen some glimpses here and there, but just looking for that more consistency and to really get it going. And early to score, it's one of the things they just haven't been able to score early in games, and they're always playing from behind, it feels like.
Well, I don't know what your thoughts are, but Seth Collins is a dynamic athlete. I mean, he can make all the plays. He is so much faster than I thought he was going into this year. I mean, he is a legitimate threat to go anytime. The problem is, and of course I sound like a broken record, but he's just young, and he'll do things that you're like, wow, that was amazing. I can't believe he just did that. And then he'll do things where you don't want to look at the TV or take your eyes away. And sometimes he's got away with it, and sometimes it's backfired on him. Early in the season, he got away with it more. Now it's kind of backfiring. But I look at Coach Crowton as being a coach who can take him from where he's at now to the next level and start playing at a more consistent basis and start making more of those dynamic plays that's going to help the offense grow.
And with how many programs he's been with, I mean, he's seen so many different coaching staffs work together. He has a lot of ideas that, hey, this aspect of your program really needs some work. He can kind of just direct the coaching staff the way because he's been through so many successful programs. It's really...
And he's seen it all, correct?
He has,
he's seen it all and can offer tips, and he knows how to adjust things. And
however, I don't think we're going to keep him for long. I mean, obviously, he's coached in about 42 different programs.
You heard him there, and it was, I'm here basically until something permanent comes along. I mean, he
wants to be back at the D1 level, and I think a lot's changed since he was at Oregon back when we were playing. The defenses have changed a lot, so I think he wants to get kind of the layout of the land again, start game planning against some of these guys, and look for an opportunity when it comes.
Was it that long ago we were playing?
It doesn't seem like that.
I know.
But I wake up in the morning and I feel different. My birthday's this weekend, turning 30.
Happy 30th.
Thank you.
Nice.
Happy 30th.
Yeah.
Nice. Trust me, it feels like yesterday when I was covering you guys playing in high school and college. How did this happen? All right. Hey, we've got a great opportunity for you fans, college football fans, CSN fans. It is the CSN Fan Zone, our fan rewards program. To get started, just head to the website, csnw.com. Fan Zone, and you get earned points for different types of actions and engagements with CSN online content. You can get gifts including iTunes gift cards and CSN gear. So go on and check it out and engage with CSN NW. Coming up next, it is Burton's Breakdown with Nigel.
Hey, Katie, coming up next, we finally saw the real Victor Bolden step up against Washington State. You don't want to miss it.
If you could invite 3 people over for dinner, living human beings, who would those 3 people be?
Kevin Hart, funniest guy on earth.
This one makes me laugh. After he yell at something, he stare at it for a long time. Get out the boat!
LeBron James.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
And the last one, Obama. I feel like he have a lot to talk about.
Fact is, I feel more loose and relaxed than ever.
I like that dinner party. That'd be a fun dinner party. I'd want to be at that one. All right. Well, Victor Bolden, we've talked about him a lot this year, and mainly it's been Victor, let's get it going. And last week at Washington State, 6 receptions for almost 80 yards, and, well, that kick return yards there, of course, a high number. We'll be seeing that play, really the highlight of the game, especially for the first half. It was the one thing Beavers could really hang their hats on. But
watch him during this game. I mean, his ability to get open, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen him find the windows, and then when he actually did get open, he's catching the ball, and he's catching the ball in traffic. And you watch him running through guys. We haven't seen this player yet so far this year. We've been hard on him at this show. We've all called him out, and so I am so happy to see the player that we've all been waiting for. And you know what? If this continues, it's really, really going to help Seth be able to grow.
It's huge because Seth struggles in the intermediate throws, right? I mean, he's hit some big plays down the field to Villeman. Yeah, beautiful. And Villeman's your big play threat down the sidelines, down the field for the big plays. We really need someone to pick up that 5 to 12-yard range intermediate route.
The old Shane Morales player.
The old Shane Morales. Find the hole, sit in the hole, catch the ball, get up the field, pick up first downs. But that keeps you out of the 3rd and longs. If you can throw a 5-6 yard pass on 2nd down and pick up 6 or 8 yards. Really takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback, and that's the area where Seth's struggling. So we really need him to step up and be huge for the Beavers.
What I love too, though, is his vision this last game. But before, he'd go get the ball on those smoke screens or on the fly sweeps, and he wouldn't follow the blockers. This week, he got, I felt like, all the yardage he could have pushed out of that play with the blocking that he got this last game, which has been a difference, and I loved it.
Well, you know who's really been giving Victor some tough love this year and calling him out? Nigel Burton.
Good old coach.
Yes, good old coach. And so, well, Victor is the subject of this week's Burton Breakdown, brought to you by Standard TV and Appliance, setting the standard since 1947.
So all season, we've been challenging Victor Bolden on #Beavers to do something to help the Beavs win a game, right? Help Seth Collins run a great route, make a play, do something on special teams. Well, this week, he absolutely did it. Now, it wasn't necessarily in a winning effort, but it's something that could go a long way in helping the Beavers throughout the rest of the season. Let's take a look at the In Focus Monopad collaboration that works and see what we're talking about. Here against Washington State, 24-3. The game's starting to get away from the Beavs, but he makes a huge play, 128 yards. Now, my favorite part of this return is this moment right here. As opposed to most returners who would run full speed up the sideline, allowing the 2 Washington State Cougars who have some angles to get him, he actually slows down to set up his blocks and then hits the 6th gear one more time, sets up his blocks, and scores a huge 100-yard return for the Beavers. Now, his second biggest play actually happened when the game was pretty much out of hand. 1:31 left, you're down by a ton, going in to score. But with his experience, the junior does a great job of showing all the young Beavers that you never quit in a game. You have fight. He does a great corner route and gets absolutely plastered, but he jumps up, tosses the ball to the refs. He sent a signal to the rest of his team that you keep playing. You never know what could happen, and we always finish games. Those 2 plays will go a long way to help the Beavers throughout the season, especially if he continues to do those types of things.
And let's hope what we saw last week is just the beginning. And, with that one big play, which we'll see again, he has himself a new job. Permanently, I think. Returning kicks.
If we can get another touchdown on special teams. I mean, that's
First
that
special
is
teams
huge.
touchdown of the year.
The percentage of games won when you actually score a touchdown on special teams or on defense, it goes up so quickly. And so, I mean, watch what he does here. Watch his speed. He'll take off, and nobody can catch him. What I want to see is that on a zero route going down the field. I want to see some of those where he breaks the top off the defense.
Well, this actually got us back into the game at this point, because right now you can see just in the second half we've given up 24 points. We're down and out. We need that big play to get us back in the game, and that actually gave us life there for a little bit. But like you said, like I've been down on Victor too as well, because he has great frontline speed, but you haven't seen him move side to side or set up blocks or make a defender miss and then go, and that's exactly what he did there. So if we could get more of that, that's good. That's a huge, huge plus for the Beavers second half of the season.
Normally, do you want a player, well, I mean, we've seen some others do it over the years, but do you want a player who has such a big role on your offense and playing such a big role on special teams?
I don't mind that at all.
Fine.
I mean, when you have a best player, I mean, Sammy returned our punts, returned a punt against USC for a touchdown. I mean, when you have a player like that that's a playmaker, you've got to put him in as many positions as possible.
You want to get your best players the ball as much as you can, and so as long as the ball's in his hands, in Storm Woods, Seth Collins, I mean, that's where we want it, and give him as many opportunities as he can, because he can do things like that.
Well, we've been hard on him this season only because we know how packed with potential he is, and it's nice to see that potential finally coming out, and let's hope he keeps it going against the Buffaloes tomorrow night. All right. It is time for our favorite part of the show. It is time to take our weekly trip with Slade to the OSU Beaver store for the latest in Beaver fashions.
Guys, I'm downtown Portland at the OSU Beaver store on the corner of Southwest 6th and Alder, and it's homecoming week. And what a better way to celebrate homecoming week than to crack out the vault with the Old Benny, because we know once a Beaver, always a Beaver. Another thing, guys, your man cave. Put that on the wall, it'll look great. And since we're celebrating the Old Benny today for the homecoming game, we've got a little thing here with all the different kinds. Come pick it up, OSU Beaver store, fans start here.
We come to you live from Blitz Lad in Southeast Portland. And of course, we always love when people come down and join us live here at Blitz Lad to hang out on Friday nights. You can also always join us through Twitter, like the orange one is tonight, as he writes in, hey, Slade Norris, what do you think about the new starters in the secondary? The Beavers, a little overhaul on defense, as looking to get things going this week. And, well, one of those changes, Cyril Nolan-Lewis moving to nickelback. He's played like 3 or 4 positions in college, moving around and just hoping to get the most out of their guys.
You know, I love it. And the orange one always gives us good tweets, so he's a good one to follow. But I absolutely love it. I don't love losing Larry. Larry went down with a sprained ankle. We're not quite sure how his status is. But these guys, they're not playing to the level they're supposed to be playing. Cyril, he is supposed to be a leader on this team. If you watch the first series last game, just the first series, he had 2 missed tackles in only the first series. In the Stanford game, there's a extremely easy coverage that he broke down, and it looked like Larry Scott was covering the guy for the touchdown. No, it was really his fault. He has got to step up, and I'm going off on him, but it's not just him, it's multiple guys on the team. And these guys are part of our leadership. And if they're not going to play up to the potential, get some young guys in. We're a young team, and we're building for the future. This season, who knows how it's going to end up. I'm looking to the future with this coaching program. And I want to see what else we have on the bench, what guys are going to come in with effort.
And I think Arnold was actually stepped in to that Washington State game late for Nolan-Lewis and made an interception, had a nice little return. And I don't mean to pick on Nolan-Lewis either, but he's an absolute specimen of an athlete, and he can make plays. He just hasn't this year, and I absolutely agree with you. You know, if you get so many chances and then it's the next guy up, college football is a business, and it's going to give some young guys a chance to play and see what they can do. Nolan-Lewis, I'm sure, will have more than his fair share of shots to continue to make plays or get back in the lineup. But at this point, with all the missed tackles, you know, you need to switch things up and let guys know, hey, this is an open competition, and the guys who are making the plays and playing the best are the guys we're going to play.
And we were kind of joking earlier in the show, but not really joking, you know. Time to earn your scholarships, right?
I said that in email earlier to our producer. I mean, right now, these guys are somewhat stealing from the school, because the school is giving them an education. They're giving them a stipend every month, and they're not performing on the field. We have donors right now. We're trying to build a new part of our stadium. We're trying to upgrade the Valley Center. We're trying to go through and build the other section on the west stadium side. And these donors aren't going to want to give money to a product like this. So these players need to realize that not only are they hurting themselves and embarrassing themselves in the field, they're hurting Oregon State in the future. I mean, the stadium right now was built on our hard work, and they need to continue that and get some effort. Because guys like Cyril, I mean, he's a great athlete. He can do it. If you went through with that Washington State game and you said, hey, if you make this tackle, you will go to the NFL, I guarantee you he makes that tackle. And that kind of effort should be used every single play.
I think the stadium was built on your hard work. They put in a concession stand based on what I did.
Hey, you performed in a civil war. That's all that matters, right?
Right. But just, I'm not going to be that hard on Cyril, but it's a thing where you need to show up and play every day. You need to come to work prepared. And he, just like you said, he has all the talent in the world. He has all the tools, and it's disappointing to see the finished product not come together. The guys on the other side of the ball, they get paid scholarships, or they have scholarships too. They get paid to play too. But we're good enough, and we have good enough athletes to not put that kind of a product on the field.
You know what? I think it's worth mentioning, though, because this day and age, college football is a business. We hear so much recently about schools taking advantage of kids, and kids aren't getting enough out. And there are other times you're thinking that, they got to earn what they're getting too. This is a great privilege to play for a Division I programs. There are a lot of schools, kids that would love to play on this stage.
Well, I think the biggest thing too is we're starting to get some momentum in recruiting now.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We got to keep them recruiting going, or the momentum going, instead of taking a step backwards.
All right, George tweets in, quarterback depth chart change. What does that mean? And George, of course, is referring to, Marcus McMaryion going a step back in the quarterback rotation. And, offensive coordinator Dave Baldwin talked about the change this week.
We're going to go with our quarterback as it is, and you might see the other kid play. But, when you carry the ball 23 times, you're a little beat up. And he did carry the ball 23 times, and he's a little sore, so I'm preparing for everything that we can be prepared for. And I think the other kid's done a nice job this week. But, the other kid will start first, and we'll go from there.
Why Nick over Marcus at this point?
What's happened is the same thing that Marcus did over the summer, Nick has done in the last 3 weeks. He just continues to be doing everything right. And you can ask him any question, he'll get it right, as he directed people out there today. He just does the things right. He's a system quarterback that sometimes system quarterbacks can be very good. So he's done the right thing.
Yeah, so he's talking about that kid. That kid is Nick Mitchell, who was maybe redshirt freshman from Washington, North Bend, and just under 200 pounds, 6'3", played in the spring game, went 6 of 13 for 59 yards and interception, and he leapfrogs Marcus McMaryion and moves into that number 2 spot.
I think it's great for him. I don't think we're necessarily going to see him on the field. I don't.
They were just talking to Seth Collins, with the way he plays, you just never know.
You never know. It's great to have trust in a guy that you're backing up, and I think they're going with the safer choice here because Nick is a smart guy. He's a studious guy. He's in the film room. He understands the offense, and he's a safer passer, to be completely honest. But
and we're
right
seeing
now,
Marcus McMaryion here, who has struggled in his times that he has. It's amazing now to think that we had a quarterback battle going into the season.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, with Marcus, he showed some flashes during spring ball and during the fall practices, but just hasn't shown it on the field. But as far as right now with Seth and Nick, Seth is our only offense, and it's his legs. We haven't been able to run the ball successfully, so now if you go put a quarterback like Nick in, he doesn't have the rushing ability that Seth has. And so what would we do? Would we pass the ball every time? I mean, can our line hold that up? Or they're just going to – they don't have to crowd the box now because Seth isn't running the ball anymore. And so it's going to be a hard time to transition to a different quarterback and try somebody else new. I want us to keep Seth, keep trying to develop him. I think he is our future.
Marcus didn't really show us much, unfortunately, in the attempts he got early in the season. And I think you're seeing a little bit of that Seth's a little bit banged up. Marcus hasn't come through in the opportunities he's got. We need to try something new. In comes Nick Marshall. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, though, because I think Marshall actually might be...
Mitchell, sorry.
Mitchell.
He was number 3 in the depth chart. I mean, let's be real.
My apologies. But he actually might be a little bit better of a passer and open up that middle, the screen game and the intermediate throws. And if he can get that going, maybe it opens up the running lanes a little bit more. As much as I like Seth, he's like I said, he's been dynamic at times, but he's missed some throws at times as well. So if there is a situation where Seth has to come out, maybe Nick can get in there, hit some throws, and open up some running lanes for the backs.
All right. Well, Of course, the game tomorrow night, 7:30 start at Reser Stadium. And guess what? There is a team on the other side of the field. That team would be Colorado. We'll finally take a look at the Buffaloes, see what they bring to Reser Stadium, who's out injured as both teams come in looking for their first Pac-12 win.
Gonna roll him on third down. He might be able to keep it, but will throw for a touchdown.
What makes him special is that he's faithful. He works hard. He works hard because just like me, he knows that this year is the year that we really need to take this program to another level.
And touchdown, Colorado.
But it's nice he has another year under his belt. He's matured a lot more. He knows his mechanics are getting better, and he's just being a lot better of a leader now.
And Lufau delivers.
The most thing that impresses me day in, day out is how mentally tough he is and how physically tough he is. His maturation process has come on fast, and he's going to be a junior. I think when the year is over, everybody say that's one of the best junior quarterbacks in America going into his senior year.
Praise there from his teammates and coach for Sefo Lufau and junior quarterback. And you can see his stats there from their 4 games at home and 3 road games. And you can see he's been a little more, well, thrown a few more picks on the road, hoping that Beavers hoping maybe they can draw him into that tomorrow night in Corvallis.
Possibly with a great third down conversion percentage on D. But no, he's the last 2 games, he's throwing for over 300 yards. His completion percentage has increased. He's been playing well. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", 240 pounds, a hard guy to bring down. He has some wheels to him. He doesn't like to run the ball a lot, but he's a smart player. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He runs the offense real well. The thing that I'm worried about with him is they're missing one of their star receivers, Shea
Fields, yeah.
And having a guy like him out, I mean, he's 5th right now in receiving yards in the Pac-12. He's their deep threat, and not even a guy like him. He hits at 5 touchdowns in the year. It's going to be tough for him to make up that.
He has been playing a lot better, and Colorado is right on the point of turning things around there.
They're so close in every game.
They've had so many heartbreaking losses, or just things haven't come together in the 4th quarter for them. And Seth has been playing a lot better this year. Doing some great things. If you can get some pressure on him, though, he has thrown the ball away, or has a tendency to throw the ball away if you get pressures on him, takes hits, and that's been kind of the thing that's been holding Colorado back. So hopefully that third down defense shows up like you're talking about. We can get a little pressure, get some hits on him, and get 1 or 2 turnovers, get things going our way.
And they have given up a lot of sacks. He's been sacked more this year so far than he has the entire season last year. He was banged out of the Colorado State game with the shoulder, came back in to lead him back to a victory in overtime. And so he's a really tough player. You got to respect that. But like you said, if you can get him on the ground, he can't throw the ball.
Opportunity for a party in the backfield this week.
Party in the backfield. Party at the backfield.
Well, you mentioned Shea Fields, their leading receiver, was injured at Arizona with a high ankle sprain. So but Nelson Spruce also a threat in the receiving core for Colorado.
And Nelson is really impressive. I'm watching him last year when he played against us. He's not the greatest athlete in the world. He reminds me, honestly, of
Mike Hass.
Yeah, exactly. He runs routes real well, has great hands, great vision to the field, just knows how to get open. And he's their possession guy. With 45 receptions, he's 2nd in the Pac-12 right now in receptions. So when they need a first down, if they're in a clutch situation, that's who they're going to go to every single time.
Let me back up. I'm not comparing him to Mike Hass, because no one will quite be up there with Mike Hass.
He hasn't won the Blendnikoff Award.
He hasn't won the Blendnikoff. He's good. He's not quite Mike Hass level. But a very productive receiver, always seems to be open whenever they need him, makes plays whenever they need it, and does make some great catches. So if we can control him, now that the deep threat's not available anymore, that's going to be where the game's pretty much won or lost, or one of the big issues where the game's going to be won or lost. If we can shut him down, because that takes away the comfort blanket, it's going to put the quarterback in some tough spots.
And on Colorado in general, they have not won a Pac-12 game in over a year, I believe. I think it was in September of last year that they last won a Pac-12 game, and they have been, sort of the cellar dwellers since they came into the league a few years ago. But this team is on the rise, and you saw there against Arizona, played a lot of these teams very tough, and were right there. So the certainly is a game that the Beavers are going to have to come out and perform to win.
It is, and it's going to be won in the fourth quarter. They have sort of the Seahawk problem before this last game on Thursday. They'll lose it in the fourth quarter. They went against Arizona, and they put in their backup quarterback, Arizona, to pick up their backup quarter, Randall, and he ran all over them. 3 consecutive touchdowns in the fourth quarter for Arizona to come back and beat Colorado. They find ways to unravel things, and so if the Beavers can just stick around in the game, just keep it close until that fourth quarter, all of a sudden that thought process is going to come through Colorado. Oh no, it's going to happen again. It's coming, and then it'll come. We're at our home crowd stadium. I think we can pull it off.
And this is one of those games, to me, it feels like, where, things haven't gone our way the last 2 weeks. You got a young team, kind of heads down right now. We're down in the dumps. If we can get a win here and get some momentum going into the final stretch of the season, because we have some big games coming up, Washington, Oregon, of course, UCLA, some good
Utah
competition.
next week,
Utah.
UCLA the
If we
next
could get
week.
some momentum going into that, I think that would be a huge deal for us, and maybe steal a couple down the home stretch, as opposed to if you drop this game, you've lost 3 in a row. And with the daunting Utah and UCLA and Oregon coming up in Washington, that's going to be a that's going to be a lot tougher of a road to go down.
Right now, for both teams, bowl eligibility isn't out. It seems like a very lofty goal, but Colorado already has 3 wins. They just need 1 more because they have a larger schedule. They play at Hawaii the first game. This game is extremely important for both teams. Colorado's going to come out fighting, so Oregon State has to realize that even though this team hasn't won a Pac-12 game in so long, it's going to be a dogfight.
And they're hungry for it, too. Colorado, like you said, they're the bowl game's still alive for them. It's still alive for the Beavers, but they haven't won that Pac-12 game, and they're going to do everything they can because they're looking at us as the opportunity to finally get over that hump, and we got to realize that and come out fighting.
They're looking at each other the same way. Great opportunity for a Pac-12 win. All right, when we come back, these guys are going to get real specific and give you their keys to a Beaver win tomorrow night. Plus, we'll tell you about kind of a cool special treat that will happen just before kickoff at Reser Stadium tomorrow. Reser Stadium, well, it'll be a little darker tomorrow night when they kick off. It's another night game, 7:30 at night. And hey, there's something cool right at the start of the game, too. The Navy SEALs are going to jump in. The parachute team is here in Oregon and will be jumping in the stadium right before kickoff. The first time ever that they've come to Reser Stadium, as long as the weather cooperates, but that will be fun. So watch for that if you are there. I will be there. All right, so all-time series against Colorado. They made their first trip here ever a couple years ago. That was a Beaver win. So they had not been here for many, many years in Portland when they played last back in the 60s before that. So not a place they're familiar with before joining the league. It's time for our keys to the game. And first, we're going to get some of the fan keys to the game here, guys. Jessica writes in, protect the quarterback.
I like
Keep
it.
him healthy.
Keep him healthy. His legs are our offense, so far.
Teach him to slide.
Yeah, teach him to slide. And Alex writes in, the Beavers' defense has looked the best when they are playing from behind. Have that mentality the whole game. Yeah, just don't get behind.
Have
Let's
the second half mentality you got carried at Washington State. Just carry it over. Continue it. I like that, too.
All right. Well, Slade, you are up first tonight. Your keys. Oh, I'm sorry. Skylar, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is the most important tweet right here. Look at this one.
Oh, no. I see your beard, Slade Norris. I missed
Matt,
the rest of it.
You got to be a little jealous this time.
I actually just trimmed it up earlier this week. I'll bring my A game next time I'm on the show. We'll see what happens.
I think it was earlier this season, right, when Matt brought the beard and you were clean shaven, and
I got called out on the show.
You got called out.
What the fans want, the fans get. They got a beard.
Put up a heck of a fight. I'm gonna have to take the title back.
And the crazy thing about, well, I don't know. I am told that his nickname is like Sexy Slade or something. Is that true?
Yeah, I'll take it. That's news to me.
But anyway, he didn't have a beard one week, and then he showed up the next week. That thing grew faster than anything I have ever seen. And he, of course, has the orange suit, which he wore as honorary captain. That's without the beard.
Put Matt with the blue one. We're perfect right there. That's how it usually is.
This is a flashback to Halloween during the college days. I don't know.
Nobody wants to know about that. But keys to the game.
Keys to the game.
There we go.
On to the keys to the game.
Limit the explosive plays. So for Washington State, we had 10 explosive plays against us just in the first half alone. That is awful. That's embarrassing. If we can limit Colorado to having to march in the field, they can work for the yardage they'll get. We got a chance in this game. The second one, is the Victor Bolden effect. I want to see another touchdown on special teams. He's going to go through, hit the hole, bam, and then kick it up a notch all the way into the end zone. We can do that. If he gets a touchdown on that, really like our chances to win. And then our third down defense. Continue the dominance at home. If we got that, we got the game.
Absolutely. I'm going to start off right now with Collins, the most dynamic player on our offense right now. Like I said earlier in the season, he was making plays when he took chances. Things went well. Lately, not so much. There's been a couple of hiccups here and there. I think if he throws more touchdowns than he does interceptions tomorrow night, things are going to be looking good for us.
That's a pretty low barrier.
That's just what I feel we need to get going.
He's
going
to run for like 3.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. But I want to see the receivers get involved in some offense that way. The other thing is there was one point on the telecast last week where we're 1 for 28 on third downs over 8 yards. That is awful. I've never even heard of that before. So Langsdorff, back when I was on the offense, said if we can hit it at 35% conversion on third downs, that's average. That's doing okay. That's doing our jobs. So we like to see that at 45% this week. That'll keep the chains moving. Big benefit for us. And then the other thing to keep Colorado on their heels is we can't allow a 100-yard rusher. All those missed tackles we've been giving up, people diving at the ground, as the defensive coordinator was talking about, don't want to see that this week. We want to see guys hit, fit up, drive guys backwards. If we can hold Colorado without a 100-yard rusher, put all the pressure on their quarterback, I think that bodes well for the defense to make some big plays.
And they really fed him last week. Phillip Lindsay, he got 91 yards last week on 23 carries. It was the most carries he's had all season long. So I think they do want him to be a factor.
All right, it is time. Beavers back at home, 7:30 tomorrow night. And hey, tune in the morning for CSN Game Day.